Next up, we have Glome by Creo. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Consider becoming a member, supporting the channel even further than everything. And 2 disclaimers. Number 1, this is my first time hearing this track. I will be pausing a lot, as I will be pointing things out as I hear them. Number 2, this is happening live on stream, which means I might stumble upon my words. This is a single take, so whatever happens, happens. So, let's do this. Let's see. Oh, before we do that. Oh, there was nothing to delete. There you go. Let's do this. Glome. Let's go. Okay, so we start with a couple of very cool. That synth at the start sounded familiar. Like it sounded like a game I'd played before. I haven't played Geometry Dash, but it sounded like something I've heard before from another game. Maybe Stardew Valley? Reminded me of it. But yeah, we have that very lovely, we had that initial synth giving us that first chord. Then we moved over to a couple of other ones, and we had one giving us our first melody, which I believe will be our motif. Motif being, of course, the smallest version of our musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from. Let's see where he takes it. Pronounce Creo? There you go. Okay, no. So that was accompaniment. That synth there is, well, it's either accompaniment and the piano there is the actual motif, or the piano just had a stinger over there. So yes, it gives summer vibe. Yeah, it makes it feel like summer, which it's like 30 degrees Celsius here, warmer because of the studio. I'm not a big fan of summer, but I am liking this. So yes, we have this really clear. It's an arpeggio going, so it could just be accompaniment. Arpeggio is when you play a chord one note at a time, and then we had the piano giving us the actual, what could be the actual motif. Let's see. Yep, that's second synth. Yep. I know what this reminds me of. There was this mobile game I played a long time ago. Some of the best game music I have ever heard in my life. Chillest game music ever. It's called 2 Dots. That's what it reminds me of. That's what it reminds me of. I haven't played it in years, so it took me a moment to understand what the hell was happening. But yeah, it's a similar vibe. So yeah, if you like Creo music, you're probably gonna like that game. It's a mobile game. It's an okay game. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. So yeah, we're having now this trumpet giving us a second line, similar to the main motif. It's very nice. 2 Dots. Yeah, that's the name. 2 Dots. It's an entertaining game, so yeah. I mean, it's a mobile game, so you know. Let's see. So yes, we are having the synth slash piano doing those the very lovely motif. Then we're having the trumpet acting kind of like a response. You know, doing a call and response with the piano and the synth. Call and response. One musician or one group does one thing, immediately followed by another one. So one musical idea, kind of like a conversation. We moved from the little bit of percussion that we had there to let the piano take lead in the accompaniment, which is very lovely. Let's see where it goes. And I really like how the motif is switching back and forth between the synth and the piano. That change in tone and texture is really nice. It's really nice. Yeah. I'm just figuring... hang on, I'm just visualizing the motif with what we just heard. Okay. I didn't want to believe it at first, but we got our first variation of the motif, and it's a retrograde. So what is a retrograde? A retrograde is when you play something backwards. Not that you flip the audio file, but that you take the notes and you play them in the order, in the opposite order. It's Zipkid. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. So in this case, the motif was kind of going this way. This is kind of what the original motif was sounding like. And now the other one is the other way around. We have one extra note, which is what confused me, because it has one note here, and then we have the leap. It's the same thing mirrored, it just has one extra note. It took me a moment, that's why I had to stop there and actually visualize it in my head. So we have this change of this complete shift, kind of flipping everything on its head and doing a retrograde. Nice. Adding some drums there. Yep. And on top of that, we do an inversion of that. So again, when it comes to counterpoint and the study of melodies, you have the motif, then you can have an inversion, which is when you flip it vertically. You can have the retrograde, is which you flip it horizontally, and then retrograde inversion when you flip that vertically. And that's what we just got. Creo here is going through all the states of melodies in 1 minute. Because I'm pretty sure at some point he also did an inversion. By this point, he probably did an inversion by now. So we went through all the directions of the 12-tone matrix. The melody, the inversion, the retrograde, and the retrograde inversion. Oh my god, the trumpet was doing the inversion. We're repeating it a couple of times, and the trumpet was doing the inversion. That's it. I'm just processing that because yeah, that's what happened. We had the melody, we had the inversion, then we had the retrograde, and now we had the retrograde inversion. The thing is, when it comes to 12-tone matrices, because yes, if you're a composer, you studied counterpoint being the study of melodies and their interactions with one another, that kind of thing. You learn these things, but you really get into it when you study 12-tone music. Now, what is 12-tone music? You might ask, what the hell is 12-tone music? What the hell is a matrix? A 12-tone matrix. So 12-tone music, let me just clear this. 12-tone music is music. It's a style of music. It's not that good sounding, but theoretically it's fascinating. Invented by Arnold Schoenberg. Arnold Schoenberg, he was an atonal musician. Atonal music, I think I've explained it before, music that doesn't sound tonal. And the concept of 12-tone music is that it uses the chromatic scale. Now, in Western music, we use the chromatic scale for pretty much everything. The chromatic scale is just the overall range of what notes we have. So the chromatic scale has 12 notes, and from those 12 notes, we pick whatever scales that we have. So the notes in the chromatic scale are C, followed by C sharp, or D flat. These are called enharmonics. Enharmonics just means it's the same note, it sounds the same, it's just written differently for different purposes. Koros, welcome to the day. We stream, I aim for Monday through Friday. So we have C, C sharp, or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, F, for some reason, G. Technically F sharp is G, but there is no space in between. Then we have G sharp or A flat. This will make sense. A, then A sharp or B flat, B, and then back to C. which is called the octave. I did not mean it to go that way, but look at that. It illustrated my point. So those are the 12 tones that exist in Western music. And out of all of these, you make mathematical formulas, and you can pick out 7 notes out of these, and you get scales out of this. It's a very, very lovely thing that you can do. When it comes to 12-tone music, Schoenberg thought, okay, but what if we make music with a very special rule? You have to play every note of the chromatic scale, and when you play that note, you can't play the previous one until you've played every other one. Music communism, in a sense, and he created 12-tone music. Now, when it comes to 12-tone music, with that, you need to create a 12-tone row, because you're picking which notes are going to happen. Because then you're doing a process of elimination. Okay, so we're going to play D first, then we're going to go up to F, then we're going to go up to G sharp, and then we're going to go down to C sharp, then to C, but we can't play D, we already played D. We can't go for F, we already played F. So for that, you make a, let me just bring up the website, a 12-tone matrix. So there's a calculator for this kind of thing. Oh, it kept the matrix we did last time. So in this case, it's such an in-depth thing that you can change the things for numbers. So in this case, let's say we make a 12-tone row. We can do C to F to G sharp to C sharp to E to F to G to A sharp to B and A, D sharp, and we end in D. You see how the rows were populated, because first we have the original row, which is the one here at the top. That is our original melody. I don't remember what the P stands for. If we flip that vertically, we get the inversion of this. If we start the row and we start looking from it backwards, we get the retrograde. And if we start here and we do it vertically, we do it from the other side. We flip it, then we get the retrograde inversion, and then from each of these rows you get the individual. Like there's inversion number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And that's the whole matrix. Point is, this is a very complex thing. It's a very, very complex thing, and you really start getting properly into that when you study this kind of stuff. Like, that's when you really, really go for that subject. And Creo has just taken those concepts, extrapolated them, and put them into this music. And just doing that with the melodies. Clever boy. Let's see where it goes. Oh! What a drop. What a drop. We bring in these... It doesn't really sound like a saxophone or anything. And we're doing the variations of the different ones. This is awesome, dude. Very nice drum beat. And again, I love this about like electronic music, that you can interrupt the music like this, and it just works. It's such a fun thing, yeah. Might listen to this, but white girl music as everybody's guilty pleasure? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Okay, so yes, what we're doing is we transitioned from having the synth there going through a variation of the motif to now doing an elongation of the motif. So once again, the concept of elongation is when you take a musical idea and you make it sound longer. So in this case, we have, let's say, the motif that we have, which was these 3 little notes over here, and we just take this and make it sound for longer. So now, instead of looking like this, it's gonna look more like this. Like, they're still, the starting and ending points are still going to be the same. It's just gonna take longer for them to reach there. So there's that. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. We're exploring the motif. Like, Creo's really good at exploring motifs. I like it. And on top of that, he's putting a couple of like adornments on top of it. There's a little bit of flair in between, but it's not too fast, not too slow. It's doing a very nice complementary counterpoint to the melodies that he's doing. This is really nice. Oh, that bass break right there. It was a split second where everyone else shut up. The bass played 2-3 notes. That was really well put there. That was really well put. Which again, it's one of those things that in this kind of music, you can put breaks on and just do whatever you want. And it serves like a moment of split second of going off the ramp. Off the ramp, of course. Colloquial term that I use. Colloquial means there's no academic or official term. Or at least I'm not using it. And it's a way of making your listener feel suspended up in the air. And if you do it fast, it's kind of like taking a quick jump from one part to the other. And you do that most commonly by taking away the drums. And in this case, you take away everyone. You keep a split second of silence. You have the bass player play. Really good. Let's see where this goes. A harmonized melody over there at the very end. Very lovely way of doing that, which is very... Yeah, that type of harmonization is a fairly advanced thing for composers to do. So harmonization is when you take a melody and you put a second melody on top of it that kind of makes it sound like you're playing chords. Welcome back, Yar. And usually when you have that, you will have parallel or similar motion. Parallel just means that both lines are doing the exact same thing. Imagine that I can draw straight lines. Similar motion is when they mostly do the same motion, but they start and end in the same overall points. There's just differences. And what Creo is doing here is a very limited, small bursts of harmonization. So we have the first melody here, then we add a little bit of harmonization here to accentuate the shifting point, and then a little bit here to land it. So we are adding bits and pieces here, and it just makes it sound very, very beautiful. It makes the melody go from nice and chill to beautiful. It's really good. Let's see how it goes. And off the ramp we go, a completely contrasting... I love the retro synths. It's so nice. It's so nice. And I love how the main rhythmic retro synth is both giving us kind of like an arpeggio, and it's kind of serving the purpose of the hi-hat at the same time. It's really nice. Yeah, it's still the same motif. It's still the same motif. He just changed the rhythm. Now I just realized that arpeggio there. It's the same motif still. We just changed the rhythm a little bit to make it a little bit more groovy in that sense. This is incredible. Making it kind of sound like a music box. Oh. Back to... We are doing a partial recapitulation of what we had at the beginning, but now with these drums. That is a very nice way of exploring this material, man. Let's see where this goes. Those moments of just letting you breathe and process what you just listened is very clever. It's very clever because we are adding more layers every time we come back, but we have these quick moments of just silence. Like, it's using silence really, really well here. I like it. We remove the lower drums now. We added a couple of extra things up there. We have the drums a little bit further down the back. We don't have a bass drum, but we have kind of the other stuff. little bit further down the back. See where it goes. There you go. So we went from having the drums there in the background now to the foreground, building up towards another drop. This is most likely going to be the climax of the piece. Knowing the craft, this is going to include as many elements as possible from the rest of the track, unless he does a switcheroo and he does a false climax, in which case he reduces the scale of the ensemble and then he brings everything out. Let's see what he does. We bring out the guitar. It was the latter. Very nice. And we have those partially harmonized melodies. This time it was the full motif. We're bringing in and out elements that we've had through the entire piece once again. And it's just... Yeah, there you go. Ooh, that was really good. So in the moments that we used to have absolute silence, which is usually a moment of like toning things down, he's literally having an instrument go back down and back up in the scale. He's got a synth that, while the rhythm has a moment, you know, we're having the intensity, let's say, of the ensemble, you know, we have it up here, we're going up, then there's a quick moment where we just drop and then we come back up, and then we continue, and then we drop, we come back up. He's having an instrument literally have that same shaped melody right now to accentuate that. So instead of using full-on silence, he's populating that a little bit more, because it's the climax, right? We're trying to keep things as much in motion as possible. And we just do that now. Let's see how you ended, because we got about 30 seconds left. Let's see. We take away the drums, we reduce the sound, the size of the ensemble. Yeah, we echo the motifs that we use. We're using a partial version of the motif. Throughout most of the piece, what we had here is that he kept adding stuff to the motif. Now that we're out, we're taking from the motif. And we're giving a simple, because the first motif was 3 notes. Then it was 4. Then it kept going and kept going. Now we're back to 3 notes. Now we're to 2 notes. Now to 5. That's more of the response. And we end it on a low note with the piano. And we just hold and let it rest. We end with a lovely piano outro with that very lovely synth. Man, that was a trip. That was a trip. That was very well composed. That was very, very well composed. There you have it. That was Glome by Creo. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and I hope I have explained things in a way that you don't have to want to understand what has happened here musically. If you're watching this on the YouTube archive video, thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Consider becoming a member of one of the paid memberships. We're looking into making members-only content for non-video game stuff, but there's that. And if you want to listen to this track without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the Discord. I will be pinning the comment anyway, but the Discord has the LFA requests channel. Follow the instructions on the pinned messages there. Anybody who doesn't follow the instructions does not get considered. I don't care if the track would qualify or not. Follow the instructions or you get ignored. If you want to watch the streams live when they happen, links available below to the Discord and the Twitch channels, so that they have which have the stream schedule shown in your local time zone, so that you don't have to calculate time zones or anything like that. So, with that being said, yeah, there you go. There you go. That was Glome by Creo. That was lovely, dude. That was absolutely lovely. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.